Hey, what's up guys, it's Texumer talking to you here, and today I want to talk about the iPad Pro and the state that it's in after the iPadOS 15 release. And right now, if you don't know, the iPadOS public beta is out and I will install it on my iPad, and by the end of the next week I'll probably have a review, or even better, I will probably have at the beginning of the week some hands-on to show you show you what's new features, what Apple didn't put on, what Apple did put on and did add on. So if you are interested in that, drop a like on this video and comment it down below. But in this video, I want to talk about how Apple sees the iPad and why hasn't Apple turned into a computer or Mac replacement. But before that, roll the intro. The iPad Pro, it's pretty good. This 2018 model is just my main device still, after almost 3 years of its release. But the iPad Pro still lacks tons of features that it's not a Mac replacement for a lot of people. For me right now, it's more of temporary change. I will have my M1X MacBook Pro probably in September, and I have a video on that right there if you want to talk about the M1X MacBook Pro. But right now, while I'm waiting, I have to use this 2018 iPad Pro, and I think it's great. This iPad, it's still very fast, it still can edit and export 4K footage, 60 by the way, but what I realize right now is that it's pretty limited in terms of Pro features. What I'm saying is, like, it has basic features and does everything I want to do, like editing photos here is pretty amazing on Affinity Photo. I prefer to edit photos here than in my M1X or even my 2016 MacBook Pro, because that's still able to do it. But this device is still very incredible, and I think I will use it over the M1X MacBook Pro to edit my thumbnails and Affinity Photos. But in terms of video editing, the iPad is still very limiting, and even though LumaFusion is evolving, it's no Final Cut Pro. And that's not just it. For example, it doesn't have any file support app, any good file support app, I should say, because it has a Files app, but it's pretty trash. It doesn't have support for external mics, it doesn't have support for an external camera, it doesn't have external web camera, by the way, and external mics, it has support for them, but you can control them. But it's still very limited. The software is not there yet, and even though it makes a lot of good things, it doesn't make the necessary things to replace a Mac. And I've talked about that on other videos, and I don't want to go deep on that again. But today I want to explain why Apple does that. I think that Apple, in this today and age, sees the Mac and the iPad as almost as two best friends. Like, they know each other so well they don't need to speak to change thoughts. So Apple wants the iPad and the Mac to continue to be two different devices with two different purposes, but the iPad will morph with the Mac. So they will start doing both the same stuff, but one does in a different way than the other. So the iPad is more of a mobile device where you can take everywhere. You don't have the Pro apps that you have on your Mac when you sit down and work, real work. But you can have apps that developers make for the iPad that, in my opinion, do 80% of the job. And for being mobile, and this mobile, it's incredible. And Apple charges extra for their premium hardware, that is Face ID and now the M1X chip and the mini LED. But the iPad Pro, it's being very, very, very incredible for a lot of people that don't need the real Pro app from the Mac. And I think Apple wants to turn these two devices in such a way that they become an hybrid. So Apple wants to use the Mac and the iPad simultaneously. So you can see that with Universal Control. Universal Control is just the first step for Apple to morph these products together into two different devices, but with the same workflow. So Apple wants to turn the iPad part of the workflow of a Mac. And I think that's pretty genius, because they can charge for the iPad and they can charge for a Mac, and none of them will cannibalize the other one. So if you want to draw, you want to edit photos with your touch, if you want to use your fingers, the iPad will be your touch Mac. But if you want to do real work with apps from Windows or apps from other companies that make them for prosumers and it's not widely available on App Store, then you can expect to work on a Mac, sit down, or even buy a MacBook Pro, which is a portable computer. But ultimately, in the future, I believe that Apple will sell only desktops and iPads. I think they will kill their mobile computer lineup, but only in 10, 15, 20 years. But I see that why Apple didn't update the iPad to give it more Mac features this year, because they have given more iPad features to the Mac than Mac features to the iPad. John Prosser explained this very well on the Genius Bar podcast that I saw and I heard, and I think he's right on some point. Apple just gave the M1 chip to the iPad and gave it 16 gigabytes of RAM or 8. If you analyze that, you think, why? Then, wait a minute, why did Apple didn't give more Pro features to the iPad or even a better software to the iPad, because it's capable of doing that, or even Pro app support, even that. And then you think, well, but if they haven't done it last year, 3 years ago, why haven't they done it? Probably because the other iPads don't have enough RAM. And Apple is thinking, okay, if you can give 8 to 16 gigabytes of RAM to the iPad, but then what? It's the only iPad supported. We won't update our software for only one device and leave the others on the dust. Apple doesn't do that. They just want to give the most support for their devices as possible. So that's why they have the iPhone 6s with 7 years old support. So in my opinion, Apple won't just leave the other iPad Pros on the dust and leave their proud customers very, very disappointed, mainly with the 2020 iPad, because that's only 1 year old and it would be completely outdated, by the way, if Apple releases new software only available for the M1 iPad Pro. So that wouldn't be good on the picture, and that would be an anti-competitive thing, and the customers wouldn't be happy for that. So I think Apple did the right choice to wait. They will probably wait until they have 2 or 3 different iPads from different years on the market capable of running more powerful software on it. So what I think is that probably in 2023, 2024, the iPad will become even more powerful, because we have the 2021 iPad Pro, the 2022 iPad Pro, or even 2023, and the 2024. So you'll have 3 models with 8 to 16 gigabytes of RAM, which are capable of running this more powerful OS that Apple wants to build for the iPad. But bear in mind that this more powerful OS won't be as powerful as a Mac and won't be the same as Mac OS, because that doesn't make any sense, and I wouldn't want Apple to release and just put Mac OS on the iPad, because that's just lazy and that's just not how Apple works. So I think they're just waiting to release 2 or 3 more models of iPad Pro. So instead of giving it now the best software they can and only releasing it for one iPad, and then everyone would say, gosh, this is a bad deal because the other iPads are just obsolete now and you screwed us over. Now, if they wait 2 or 3 years to give it this software, then they will have 2 or 3 iPad Pros to say, this software goes back 2 generations. So we haven't screwed anyone up. Well, the others, A12X and A12Z, won't support because they are too slow, they don't have any enough RAM. They will have the iPad OS 17 or 18, but they won't feature these features. So I think, in my opinion, right now, Apple should just wait, like they are doing, and wait to release new products with more powerful hardware, or just more powerful hardware in general, and wait, because that's the most important thing to do if they want to screw up their customers. So after that explanation, what are your thoughts on this strategy? Do you think that this strategy from Apple is the right one to take? Do you think they should just release it now and screw over their customers that bought 2018 and 2020 iPad Pros? Do you think they just need to wait to release another iPad Pro and then it's okay to release that powerful software? Or do you think they will never release this software and just want to cripple the iPad Pro forever because of the Mac? In my opinion, I think they want to make the iPad Pro even more capable of slowly. So give the features one by one and not take this very quickly, because like I said, they want to have at least 2 or 3 iPad models capable of running this software on the market before they release it. So in my opinion, if you are a guy that needs to do Pro app support and needs Pro app software, the iPad is still a companion for your Mac right now, and you just have to wait. Be patient. But if you are a regular customer, this is not a problem for you, because the iPad is just done now. It just it's just incredible for you. You don't have to improve it even better to become the best device for you. The iPad is the best device for you if you are a consumer, customer. A normal customer just browses the webs, does documents. So, in my opinion, I think Apple is doing the correct thing. Everyone doesn't like it, everyone is mad, but it's like when the parents do something, your parents do something that upsets you when you are a teenager, and you then realize it was the best thing for yourself and for your self-improvement. So, in my opinion, Apple is correct, like always. So, what are your thoughts on this matter? Do you want Apple to release it right away? Don't forget to leave a comment down below saying that. And if you agree with this strategy, also don't forget to leave a like and follow me on Twitter, please. I have a Twitter account now and I have an Instagram account, so follow them both. Leave your opinion down below. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell. It's very important to receive when I publish new videos. Well, this was TechSwimmer talking to you here. Bye!